How's it going, everybody? CJ here, back with another video. We're doing another First Thoughts today. This First Thoughts is on Yedora Grave Gardener. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the button. It's right there in the bottom left-hand corner. You just gotta look at the little icon and then just click subscribe. Just do it. It's super easy. Also, like this video. Comment down below if I mess anything up. Also, comment potato again. What else do we got going on here? In the description, we got the Twitch, we got the Twitter. If you want to support the channel, we got the TCG Player affiliate link, and we have the Patreon. And now we're going to hop into this. So, Yedora Grave Gardener. This card's really cool. This is another one of those cards that I had to dig into it to really see its full potential, and there's a lot of cool shenanigans you can do with this commander. So, first off, I want to talk about ways you can kind of get back the creatures that come back as lands. Because unfortunately, since it's mono green, you can't do any bounce lands in the deck. But you do have Kazandu Stomper, Colony Gem, which is a cool mana rock, Multani, which is awesome because it's recurable. You can recur this, and because Yedora is a May ability, you can let Multani go to the graveyard, so that way you can bring it back and bounce some lands that are actually creatures. You've got Slab Hammer. You've got Scrib Ranger and Hurian Ranger, both that let you just bounce lands very easily. And you got Storm Cauldron, which is a really, really cool one. Whenever you tap a land, you put it to your hand. That's a card that affects everybody. So that's a cool one because you'll break parity by having extra lands from your creatures dying while your opponents don't have that luxury. It seems sweet. And the next thing I want to talk about are cards that turn lands into creatures, because that's an insane synergy. When your lands die, they come back again, and they can just keep coming back. So pretty much any of these cards plus a sacrifice outlet is infinite. We'll get to that in a second, though. So the cards that turn your lands into creatures include Life and Limb, Living Plane, Living Lands, Cormus Bell plus Urborg. You got Ambush Commander, and Nature's Revolt. So let's just say you have Life and Limb in play, and say you have any sack outlet. Let's just say Alter Dementia. You have an Alter Dementia in play, and you have Life and Limb. You can just sacrifice your land to Alter Dementia, mill cards. Wait, Alter Dementia is based on power, right? Right. It better be based on power, because if it's not, then I gotta pick a different one. But I believe Alter Dementia is based on power. Not CMC. Yeah, okay. So you sacrifice your land to Alter Dementia, mill somebody one card. That land comes back. You sacrifice it again. You just keep doing that over and over again until all your opponents have no cards in their deck. You can also draw through your deck with Greater Good. You can make infinite mana using Phyrexian Altar or Ashnod's Altar. Just a very powerful combo here. Next up, I'm just going to talk about some one-off cards that seem pretty good. There's a couple cards that work really well with land creatures, including Embodiment of Insight, which gives your land creatures vigilance, and also can turn lands into creatures, which is nice. And on a landfall trigger, which is very nice. Then you also have Sylvan Advocate, which just pumps up your land creatures. Ooh, sorry about that. And along those lines of Embodiment of Insight, being able to turn your lands into creatures, you can also turn lands into creatures using cards like Kamal, either of the Kamals. You've got Kamal's Will. You've got Root Awakening and Sylvan Awakening. All those seem pretty cool. Includes Kamal and Kamal's Will in particular, or both the Kamals in particular are really good, because I know at least one. There's one of them that costs 1 mana to turn a land into a creature. That is both of them. Or no, yeah, just one. Fist of Kroza. So Fist of Kroza can turn lands into creatures for 1 mana. So if you have a Phyrexian Altar, you can pay a green, sacrifice, or turn a land to a creature, sacrifice the land for a green, bring it back. Actually, you can do both of them, because you can tap the land for mana too. Or actually, no, you won't be able to. Well, no, yeah, you would be able to. You'd be able to tap the land for mana. So you can, with both of these, just bounce a land in and out of your graveyard with a sack outlet. It'll work the same as like Life and Limb. And with Kamal Fist of Kroza, you can make infinite mana doing this. With Kamal Heart of Kroza, it's just infinite death triggers and enters the battlefield triggers and infinite landfall triggers, which will be great in this deck because landfall seems powerful in this deck. So, speaking of landfall, you got Avenger Zendikar, Lotus Cobra, Rampaging Baloths, you've got Oran Reef Hydra, Scoot Swarm, and Spore Mound. All of those are the good includes in this deck. Really good cards to trigger off your landfall and off creatures entering the battlefield from the graveyard as lands. That seems great. You'd also throw in stuff like Sakura Tribe Elder, Yavimaya Elder, and Burnished Heart. They're creatures that ramp you by sacrificing them, and so when you sacrifice them, they'll ramp you more. They seem great. You got Ashaya, so you can kind of just turn your creatures into lands as well as your lands into creatures. Just seems synergistic. Concordant Crossroads, so that way if you have Life from Limb in play and a creature dies and it comes back as a land creature, this way you can tap it immediately. It just seems like a decent card in this deck. Perilous Forays seems pretty good because you can utilize it to as a sacrifice outlet to sacrifice your creatures, sacrifice your land creatures, and go and get lands out of your deck and put them into play. Seems very powerful there. You have creatures that have a good sacrifice trigger, so that way they're just going to be synergistic because they'll turn into a land in addition to what else they do. Cost a Caterpillar to blow stuff up. You got Spore Frog, Magus of the Order to tutor out whatever you need, and Whisperwood Elemental to kind of give you board wipe protection. But also, Yedora is also board wipe protection because it'll give you a ton of lands instead of just losing everything. And Blackblade Reforged seems sweet in this deck because you're going to have a lot of lands in play. So this is going to be able to boost up your commander a lot. It'll make him hit hard. And does he? No, he doesn't have trample or anything, but seems good. Next up, I want to talk about morph creatures. This is the last topic too. But morph creatures are very cool in this deck because it was confirmed by somebody from Wizards that you can unmorph a morph creature if it's a land from Yedora. So if you have a creature with morph die, it'll come back face down as a land. You can unmorph it. You can morph it back into the front side and get the triggers and everything. So that seems like a really powerful synergy. There's a lot of morph cards, and some of the highlight ones I wanted to mention include Anok Survivalist and Nintuku Vigilante. So you have artifact and enchantment destruction there. You've got Broodhatch Nintuku, which can create a lot of tokens. Den Protector to bring stuff back from your graveyard. And there's probably some, like with a lot of these, there's probably some way you can break some of them, especially the ones that have a cheaper morph cost, because you'll be able to sacrifice them and stuff. It seems good. Like, I should have checked this. If there's any of them, I don't know. But if there's one that has a morph cost of like 1 mana or 2 mana, then you can probably go infinite with that. Probably. You've got Hooded Hydra, which can create a bunch of tokens. You've got Root Elemental, which lets you just pop something from your hand into play. That seems pretty decent. You got Salt Road Ambushers, which is a lord for all of your morphs. Whenever you morph or megamorph the creature, you get counters on stuff. That seems pretty decent. And Thelanite Hermit, another token creator. All those seem pretty great. Like, this deck is good. This is a very cool deck. I like this a lot. And that's all I got for Yedora. So hit that subscribe button right now. Do it. Hit the subscribe button. If you made it this far, just subscribe already. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.